Hello everyone, welcome back to Dungeon Pages. I still yearn for more dice-based tactical puzzle adventures, so we're gonna have a go at another one of these. Um, I'll again try randoming the combination of hero and dungeon. I'll re-roll if I get anything I've seen before on either of them. And I guess if I get the same the dungeon the hero and their matching dungeon, I guess I'll just play it rather than re-roll one of them. Maybe I'll accidentally end up playing this. Okay, great. So I haven't done Hero 6 or Dungeon 5, so what's up with that? Hero 6 is Flynn, White Glove Knight. After a few run-ins with the city guard, Flynn's made a name for himself as the Templar's newest white glove recruit. These knights in training specialize in retrieving important relics from thieves and their corrupt sponsors. Once per turn, you can flip one good die to its opposite side. Seems cool. You can always guarantee you roll something in the top half or something in the bottom half if you want. These weapons are fine, I guess. Yeah, they seem interesting. And Dungeon 5, please, is Mira's Dungeon. This is Reachport, the island village bordering the undersea kingdom of Biss. Okay. So what other advantages do we get? We get a key as our first level up. That seems weak. I have more healing potions than I need. I can only use 5. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus I get 2 here. So I guess what's the point here is that I'm kind of incent. I wonder if not that I'm going to. If I went here, are there just like fewer healing potions on his board? There's 4 instead of 5, I guess. How about what we're on Amador's board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I guess because Flynn gets extra healing potions, like his board, which they expect people will often play Flynn with, rewards you for that by having fewer healing potions so that this benefit is more useful. But okay, I'll be incentivized a little bit to not worry so much about picking up healing potions because I know I'll get plenty of them here. I assume you don't get anything for grabbing a healing potion beyond the number that fills you up. I never get any like magic rerolls. I get a couple dice as my thing. A couple coins, excuse me. Relics. Steam-powered boots. Mark a 1 adjacent to another marked square. Does that include... Like, can you mark that in walls? It's unclear. Because I know the lucky pick... Here, break. Activate a 5 or 6 to mark a wall. Steam-powered boots. Mark a 1. I mean, why is... I guess, I don't know. We'll see if we end up getting there. I don't think it has to be adjacent to a space you've already marked this turn. Just any marked space. Okay, and the monsters we'll be facing are a cultist. They do damage on 4s. You have to hit them twice for 3, so just, your average Joe. Corrupt merfolk. Whoa. Before determining if monsters attack, increase each evil die by 1 for each living merfolk. And they attack on 3s. These guys seem horrible. They attack you like every turn-ish. On the other hand, it does give you high rolls at the beginning of the map, so you should be able to kill them pretty reliably. If you take damage from this monster, you must spend a good die to mark one of the traps or take 1 damage. Okay. Only got hit with 5s. And the trap is, before marking this, reduce a good die by 1 or take 1 damage to a minimum of 1. I think, like, if I have a good die that's a 1, can I say, yes, I'll reduce this one but fail? I don't think so, because then I haven't reduced a good die by 1, so I would take 1 damage, right? I don't like this. Tunnels. Okay, so they have stairs, basically. So you have to go through this tunnel to get to here. Oh, it's like all underwater. How interesting. Okay, at least the corrupt merfolk are all really close to the doors. Huh, underwater is a cute mechanic. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't the door, it's the exit. The shipwright seems horrible. The inverted tower, you could easily kill one of these by walking here. But to get the other one and still score experience, you would have to go the long way around to avoid just making a path like this. Well, it could be appropriate. Just walk in, kill this guy, here, leave, right? Oh, but they take 2 HP, don't they? Yeah. So you can't kill that last merfolk until you are leaving. Huh. Tricky. And over here, killing the 2 merfolk is not so hard. The problem is slogging through all the water, I guess. Well, Breeze Baubles certainly seems like the most straightforward dungeon. Why is there a star here? What does star mean? It has corrupt merfolk. I see. It's a reminder on the evil dice that corrupt merfolk will mess with them. Got it. And 6s are valuable to deal with the water, I guess. I don't think you would be crazy to go to the shipwright first, though. Well, It's actually a really rough start because you can only reach like one direction. You have to put your first 2, 3 even dice like here, which means you need to roll a straight on your first turn, basically, or you're toast. So I don't think shipwright first makes sense. You need more flexibility with dice. Or like a way to burrow through a wall or something. I don't know. Which we could eventually have. Breeze Baubles, I mean, there's a lot of experience here. And a lot of items. It seems very nice. These cultists are going to take a lot of a beating, though, before you get to finish winning. And you have to very quickly start committing to what items you're picking up and what you're not. And then, like, oh, geez, I don't know. And if you don't have a key, You have to go like this as your path rather than through here, which is fine. Huh. This dungeon looks complicated. All of these dungeons. Coral Outpost might even be a good start. Because it's kind of straightforward. You just like walk towards the merfolk to kill them as fast as you can. God, they're taxing your dice so much though, right? Well, they're increasing your evil dice and shrinking your good dice. And I can flip dice to the good dice to the other side. So I guess a good die can always kill a merfolk. I don't know. I think it might be right to try here first. Remember that extra evil dice means monsters will attack you more often, but it also means you have more dice to work with. You can act faster yourself. So it's not strictly downside. I think I want to start in the Coral Outpost. So I'll bring my 1 good die and 2 evil dice to my little playmat here. And let's get started. Okay, so they do attack, so I take 2 damage. Well, first I increase each evil die by 1 for each surviving merfolk. So this is a 6, and this is actually a 3. Fine. Then they do attack, so I take 2 damage. Oh, that's right. I usually remember to sit black before I sit down, before I start up the video. Shrink that to as small a line as possible, please. Obviously, I want to take this person out, and I want to preserve the possibility of a sequential path. So I think what I want to do is write in the 6 here, not triggering the trap, of course. Now, what does it say? An unactivated good die? It doesn't say that. So, oh, before marking this space. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the rules that says you have to use unactivated dice. Discarding or sacrificing, sure. So I could, if I wanted to, for example. I could use the evil 3 to mark a 3 here, reducing the good die by 1. And then put it... No, I have to do it before marking. Yeah, reduce the evil die to 2, but then I couldn't place the good die here, because before doing so I'd have to reduce it to 1. I'd have 3, 1, and no sequential path. So... I think what I'll do instead is use my ability, Finesse, to flip this good die to its opposite side. It's a 4. I'd like to mark this square, but before I do, because it's underwater, I have to reduce a good die by 1. Now it's a 3. So I can put a 3 here. And I've spent this die. Nothing says it has to be unspent good dice. I don't know. It seems so like unfair, though, to be able to just like ignore this effect if you haven't used if you've already used your good dice. But it's not totally, because like eventually your good die goes to 1 and you can't do that with it. I guess Flynn makes that ignorable. Is there a way I could do this without cheesing the rule whose interpretation I don't know yet is correct? I mean, there is. So let's actually, at least for now, let the rules remain in a superposition of what they actually are. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but so this was a 3, recall. What I could do instead is mark this 3, reducing this to a 2, right? And then to mark this one, I have to reduce a good die. But first, I'll flip it using my finesse. It's a 5. Then I'll mark this square. And before doing that, I have to put in a 4. Or I have to reduce it so I get a 4. And I'm perfectly happy with a 4 here. It's no better or worse than a 3, really. I guess it's a little worse. Actually, is this even where I want it? Do I want to go this way? I mean, I want to go over here eventually. But no, you know what? I should go like this. I should go 6, 3, 4. Leave this path completely open so I can just fill it with 1s or whatever. And then I'm adjacent to this guy, of course. So I can put a 3 here and a 4 here using the same technique. And of course we are defeating this monster, having placed 2 or more, 4 or mores next to it. And now next turn, 2 big numbers would let me kill this guy off. Okay, I like that turn. And I haven't committed yet to how I'm interpreting this rule about underwaterness. Actually, I could search the Discord real quick and see if anyone's mentioned underwater. All right, I couldn't find a definitive answer, but there were a lot of people who were making the very reasonable assumption that you can't cheese this. You can't. If your only good die is a 1, you have to take a damage, and you can't use spent good dice, which makes sense. I don't remember rolling these, but I must have, because they're not the dice I had a minute ago, clearly. So I guess this must be my roll for the new turn. We have 1 living merfolk, so we increase each evil die by 1. And then what am I saying? We take a damage. All these 6s are nice, and a 3 is nice too to pick up the key. The problem is picking up the key using a 3 would mean that I'd have to reduce this 6 to a 5, which would mean I couldn't use it to avoid stepping in some water. But I guess stepping in some water would be fine, right? Like, put the 3 here, getting the key and attacking this person. And then put a 6 here, defeating this person and not triggering the underwater trap. And then I could place the good die here, which by this point would become a 4, which seems fine. Yeah, I like that plan. So I'm going to spend this 3 here, and before I do so, I must reduce this to a 5. Now I've got a 3 here, giving me this key. And I'm spending this 6 here, defeating the last merfolk. And I'm about to place the 5 here, but before I can do so, it's underwater, so it's actually a 4. Now, it's not clear to me if I'm allowed to flip this before, like, in between this triggering. I think so. Why not? It's, you know, before marking this, reduce a good die by 1. Okay, I have. Now I could reduce it by another 1 if I wanted, using my flip ability. Because it's in between this trigger happening and resolving the die. I think that makes sense. And I think I'd rather have a 3 than a 4. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm not 100% sure that's legal, but it seems fair. Like, the rulebook is not very clear about a lot of things. You have to make some reasonable guesses. Okay. Next turn. No wandering monsters and no merfolk triggers, so we just get to use these dice. I mean, yeah, Flynn's dice flipping is really good for avoiding the problem of being underwater, right? If you can just, as long as you can afford to use your good die late, which often you can. If it's too low, you can just flip it, and then it's high again, and so you can just always pay the tax. But it does slightly constrain you in that you can't use that ability for something else necessarily, like to make sure you get a good path. Now, one problem I'm noticing is that if I ever fill in this square, I mean, like, I can never get to these squares, but that was always the case with the dice, with the weapons I start with, right? Without the ability to skip a space, I can never fill in these squares. So we were never getting full experience from this map. So I think I should head for the potion so that I have as many opportunities as possible to fill it in. Yeah, 333. So we have this turn and 2 more to finish. I think I'd like to... Right, I can't spend my good die yet, because if it's spent, I can't afford to increase or decrease. Or I can't afford to decrease it to underwater. So... I have to spend the evil dice first, which is fine. I'll spend the 2 and then the 3, heading in this direction. That reduces this good die to 1. And I'll just put that one... Oops, what button is that? Close the UI. That's actually kind of nice. I'm not using this UI for much, am I? Let's leave it off for now. But then I am using it to see which of these I've... Okay. Just to confirm what I have selected, what drawing tool. So I'll put the 1 right here. I could flip it and make it a 6, but I don't see any reason to. Boo! Wandering monster. Oh, that's maybe a little bit too big. There we go. But decent numbers, I think. Is it actually? It's a little awkward to pick up the potion with this. Because obviously I can just place the 3 here. Maybe, okay, I think what I can do is place a 4 in the water here. Yeah, specifically there. Decreasing this to a 2. No? Does this not work? Because now if I make it a 5... No. Okay. I needed to flip this 3 to a 4 before doing that. Now decrease it to a 3 because for triggering the underwater. Then I can place an evil 4 here and a good 3 here, getting the health potion. Okay. And now I just can place any old dice here as long as I can find a way to get a 3, 4, or 5 here. I'm looking good. I mean, with the flip ability, it should be possible, even through underwater shenanigans, hopefully, to get a single 3, 4, or 5 there. So I think I can greed out and try to get all these columns. Okay. So I'll start by immediately flipping this to a 6. Then I'll mark a 6 here, not triggering underwater. A 4 here, triggering underwater, so my good 6 is now a 5. And then before I can place the good 5, it becomes a 4, which is still fine. Uh-oh. No, this is fine. This is fine. The 6 was so high that I was like, wait a minute, I don't know if I can, but it's fine. I can just place the evil 5 here, decreasing this to a 5 first. And we get this path. I don't know. I don't like how I've drawn these lines. I was trying something different here. I have been doing it like this, but then it's hard to read the numbers, right? So one thing I could try is I could do this. Like, what if I made it a red pen? That's not bad. And then I can go back to black for the markings. For the numbers, I mean. Yeah, that seems cool. All right, so experience-wise, we get this column, this column, this column, this column, and I believe 2 experience for the merfolk. This column and not this column, but 2 for the merfolk. 3, 6, 9. Cool. I think all I needed was like 8, right? Or 6? 6, actually, to get the Raven Star, which I assume is good. The ability to skip over spaces is so important. 8 for the key, I guess. Not that it's that important. Oh, this is a darker black than I was... Okay, the default color is kind of dark gray. All right, I don't mind switching to pure black. Actually, how do the numbers look when I do that? Oops, numbers are like this. Oh, these are still in my player color because I haven't changed my text color. Okay, whatever. So we get a key. I'm actually going to circle this because otherwise I'll forget I have it. And I think I want the Raven Star over this silly little ring. Now I could go to Breeze Baubles. Does that seem like a good idea? Cultists. There's a lot of them. I don't have any way to mitigate high rolls of evil dice yet. And it looks like I never will. I might get the Shadow Cloak, but... Well, actually... If I did Breeze Baubles last, I could maybe use the Shadow Cloak to mitigate damage early. But the inverted tower still seems pretty spooky. Even with the ability to skip over spaces, it's still impossible to defeat both of these merfolk without leaving. Because to defeat them both, you would have to mark these two spaces. Oh no, that's not impossible. Yeah, it is. You'd have to mark these two spaces. Well, actually, technically, you could do it. Yeah, of course. You could go... Well, I mean, it's not easy, but... You could hop along the edges to get here and here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark 4 squares to kill this guy. And then this guy, you could come at it from the other side of the treasure chest. 1... Well, we already marked that one, so... 4, 5, 6, 7. Get the potion. 8... 9, 10, 11. So marking 11 dice could get you there. 11 spaces. Ugh. But that would be a way to kill both of them and then finish exploring. Which seems way better than... just continuing to explore while they're all still there, right? Now, a second good dice would certainly help a lot with that. Oh, would a lucky pick help? Yeah. Because then you could defeat these monsters without stepping on both of these squares. You could, like, go here, 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 right? But I'm not getting the lucky pick. Well, I could get that next fight. I think I want that most of all. Ah, what about the shipwright? This is another one with a ton of evil dice. Like, it seems weird to conquer these in sort of backwards order where we do the double evil dice first. But there's only one monster here, and the ability to skip forward is really useful. And this guy shouldn't be a big problem to beat. I kind of like just going shipwright. And heading into these spookier towers. Once I have my lucky pick for the inverted tower, and... I don't know, am I going to use freeze darts or what? I'm not sure. Could maybe... Oh, let me see if there's a Discord mention about the steam-powered boots. Like, can they mark walls or what? I didn't see anyone asking this question, but... I thought, poison potion would be interesting, right? Because it's basically the same wording. Mark an orthogonally adjacent space with a 4. And this says, mark a space. Well, but this doesn't say mark a space. It says adjacent to a space, but another marked space, so suggesting that, I don't know. Anyway, I think, walls aren't spaces is the conclusion that I think I really ought to come to. Yeah, I think I'm going to the shipwright next. Feels weird to do them, with the multiple enemy dice first, but as long as the wandering monsters don't kill me, I think these are safer, and I'll really appreciate having more dice in these dungeons. So let's head in there. Remembering that I have a key, not that that's important at all, I guess. So actually, let's forget that I have a key. Yeah, head to the shipwright. Okay. Now, before monsters attack, the corrupt merfolk increases each evil die by 1. That's a 3, and that's a 6. Monsters do attack. Now what? Well, I want to start leaping into the dungeon, right? 3, 4, 6, probably? Sure. Makes sense to have the highest number closest to the enemy because I'm going to want to put high numbers next to that enemy later. And also in the underwater traps, perhaps. But this will also have to be part, potentially, of a... Yeah, these will all have to be part of the contiguous path. I guess I could make this another 3. That's worse? Yes. Because if I want to connect to a 6, I need a high number. So I think this is a perfectly fine roll. I'll just put in a 3, a 4, and a 6. Let me double check that that's... Yep, I do have a skip 1 space thing. Got it. As usual, they do get an attack, but, I mean, I get nice numbers to fight enemies with and step on this stuff. And I should easily be able to score this whole dungeon because I can just leave this square unmarked and mark everything else first. Or this one, for that matter. Although this one's better to leave unmarked because a 2, 3, or 4 is good enough. Whereas here I need a 3 or 4. So I took my damage. Now I have to fight this oaf. Which is easy. I just have to put down 2 dice somewhere. Any 2. Like, doesn't a 3 hurt you? A 4. I don't think there's anything wrong with stepping with setting off the underwater trap using my 6, so I don't have to deal with it. Like, I could put a 5 there. But I think I want a 5 here. Because I might need to use this space as part of a continuous path. I probably won't, but I might. And if I do, it'll be constrained to be the same as what this is. Which means if this is a 6, I'll need like a lot of... I don't know. I don't have a good reason. Let's just put a 6 here. And the 5 on the other space next to the merfolk. Defeating it. And I have a 4 left over. Actually, I could make this the 4 and put a 5 here, because I do need a 5 here eventually. But that means... I don't know. It shouldn't be too hard to roll a 6 or a 5 eventually. I think that's fine. I'll have this be the contiguous path. Let's actually erase this 5 and make it a 4 instead. That does still damage you, yes? Yes. And you have 2 HP, so you are defeated. And the 5, which I need to put here eventually, I will do so now. I also need these to be 5. One of these to be 5s to pick up the coin. So I'm sort of constrained on 5s, and so wasting a 5 here seems like a bad idea. Alright. Now we're down to just the wandering monster and I can explore freely. Nobody wanders at all. Great. But remember, I do eventually need a 5 or a 6 here. So I think what I'm going to do is use my finesse to make this 3 a 4 and mark those here. Come on, stop highlighting that. And then I can grab this health potion. Come on. Marking that off. You know what? Let's clean that up a little. Out! Out, damn spot! Whatever, I'll just draw over that, I guess. Fine. It still looks pretty bad. That was my 4s. And this area is already certainly not part of the connected path, so I can just dump a 1 there with no consequences. No wandering monster. I got my 5, but I can't put it here, actually, because I would have to decrease it by 1 first, and then it would be a 4. I can put a 5 up here, though, which is lovely. Oh! I just realized something I did last turn and said last turn was wrong. I claimed that this 1 could never be on the consecutive path, but that's not true. A 5 here would have allowed me to draw the path like this and actually use this space. I think putting the 1 there was still correct. But I don't know, maybe I could have put it here? And then I could have had this as a possible continuous path with this 5. I don't think it's a big deal necessarily. Anyway, let's write in this 5. Grabbing the coins. I love this 3 here. And I guess I'll put the 1 next to the coin. Because I have to head this way sometime. And I mean, you know what? Forget that. I'd like the if I roll doubles next turn of anything, I could put them both here and the other space this, right? I think I'm going to put the 1 up here. Perfect. There's my white 6, or well, any 6 really. Although I did just say I could use the doubles to collect that coin. It's a little bit risky, but not very, right? Because I have 2 coins and a flip ability. It's pretty much impossible to be unable to put a 5 or a 6 here, I think. Yes. I can turn any good die into a 6 if I have to. So that's fine. I guess the issue is I also need to get a 2, 3, or 4 here. Yeah, I could get punished if I try to pick up that coin. I've finished every game with spare coins so far. So maybe I should play it a little bit safe here. Yeah, I think I will. So I won't pick up this coin right now. I'll guarantee that I can get out of the dungeon with all my experience. I'll write a 6 here. And then I have a 2 and a 6, which, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. 6. Actually, it matters a little. Let's make that a 2 and this a 6. I don't want to constrain this coin to be picked up by 2s, because if I roll a 2, I'm going to want to spend it here. 6s I'll be happy to spend over here, so I think that is a little bit better. Alright, last turn of the dungeon. Needn't have worried. It turns out, not only do I get to escape, and I could have escaped if I were greedier, but I also am rewarded for greed because I still get the coin. So put the 6 here. What's the other one? A 2 and a 4. Put the 4 here, and then lastly the 2 here. Grab these coins. Let's draw my little route out. Very straightforward approach. Okay, and score it up. So we get points for, oh, let's bring this back to black, please. We get points for every column. And we get 2 points in this row. That's the only monster. So that's a total of 8. Oh, I was writing these in, wasn't I? Equals 8. This one was 9? Yeah. So we should have 17. Which gets us this good die. Let's grab it now before I forget. And something of choice from up here. I think I very much choose the lucky pick. I would love to smash through these walls to make it easier to kill these guys off. I believe the lucky pick can smash doors as well, right? A wall. Okay, but what is a key? Well, I assume if I can smash through a wall, surely I can handle a locked door. So I'm going to say that that's allowed if I want to. So I have a key. Do you need a key in this fight? Yes, it would be helpful, I guess. Well, I mean, not that helpful. It would avoid having to slog through all this water, I guess. Why is the wording on tunnel so different to the wording on stairs? After you mark, you may mark spaces adjacent to other stairs. When determining a path to the treasure, repeat all marks spaces adjacent to stairs adjacent to each other. And this one's just like, you travel through a tunnel. You can mark spaces adjacent. I guess it's because they don't have room because they wanted to make this separate thing, like, disconnected. Okay, we're putting away a black die. Wherever we go, there's only going to be one evil die, not 2. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I want the lucky pick. Freeze darts are also really cool. I imagine I'll pick those up rather than picking up a relic, and I want so I can have all 4 weapons because so freeze darts have range of 2 in diagonal and orthogonal, and you can change directions. So they're super flexible, and they have this missile ability, which says you can, if you use a 1 as a missile, you can mark any space in the dungeon, but only once per turn. So you don't have to be adjacent at all. You can just throw a 1 any old place. Wow, I could even just chuck a 1 in here and start wailing on this guy, right? Yeah, so those all seem good. And then I'll want 1 relic, which probably Shadow Cloak. Because it saves a lot of damage. Ignore all damage. Yeah, and this guy cares about if he damages you, right? So ignoring all of that would be amazing. Yeah, that seems like the way to go. Just take all 4 weapons and then the Shadow Cloak. So let's take the pick now, because I can afford it and I can't afford the freeze darts. And spend the pick in here. Now, I mean not spend, but go in here hoping to take advantage of the pick, rather. The pick is only range 1, right? Yeah, that's fine. Now, the freeze darts would be useful here as well, but I don't know. I don't need them. All right, let's do the inverted tower. I have how much health right now? 7? That's plenty. Okay, they're going to increase the dice by 1 for each merfolk, so it's a 6. Which, by the way, really good for smashing walls. I do take a damage. I take 2 damage because there are 2 merfolk. And I need to do, I need a 3 to damage them. So I can only lucky pick once per turn, or no? Nope. Anytime. Anytime I have a 5 or a 6. So I'm thinking I want to put the 6 here. And then a 3 here. Which would make me decrease this to a 1. And I could then flip it to a 6. And easily step either in water or more walls. I guess I would put it here. It's actually a little hard to do that, isn't it? Well, no. I mean, it just means I would have a 3 and then a 6 here. Which means I would have a little bit of trouble forming a continuous path. Eventually. But not that much. I just want to get myself adjacent to this wall so I can smash it next turn. So I think smash here, attack, water, right? I think that makes sense. So I'll use my lucky pick to put a 6 in this wall. And I'll spend my 3 on this space, which requires me to decrease this die by 1. Oops, not a new line, a 3. Let me double check. No, a 4. You need a 4 to hurt them. Okay, excuse me. That's not a good idea. Okay, so give me this 2 back. And And this was a 3. Flip the 2 to a 5. Then try to place it, reducing it to a 4. And then put my 3 here as a 2, I guess. So this is a 5 using finesse. Before placing here, reduce it to a 4. So this will be a 4. And then I'm going to place this 3 here as a 2. So let's just do all that now. 4, 2. You're dead. You know, I don't mind a 6. You get me for 1. This goes up, of course. That's why I said 6, not 5. I don't think I can actually quite finish him off this turn easily. Maybe if I use a coin. So, obviously, we take this 6. Oh, wait a minute. Is it obvious? Maybe it's not. It is obvious. I don't think... So the problem is these good dice are both 1s, so it's a little bit hard to get a 6 here. I'll have to decrease a good die by 2. Or a good die by 1 twice. Which means if I flip to a 6, fine, I can place the 6 here. But then I'll have a 1, which I can't flip. And... there's no way to like increase this to a 6, then decrease it to a 5, placing here, and then use this 6 somewhere else. I can't do that because the ordering is wrong. I can't decrease it until I've already gone through the wall. So I think... oh, that was a 6. I think we do spend the 6... the evil 6 here. I took a damage, right? Yeah. Flip this to a 6 with finesse. And spend a coin. Where are my coins? There's one. To make this one a 2. Then trigger underwater, turning the 2 back into a 1 to place it here. And now I have a 6 left over to go underwater without triggering the effect, defeating the monster. I'm now free to explore at my leisure because there are no sources of damage left. I just have to make sure I pick up as much as I can and make a path. There are several ways to make a path still. Like 5, 6 would be one obvious way, but conceivably I could even do something like this, although it seems unlikely. Well, I guess 5, 6 would be better because I do want to explore all the columns. Anyway, roll them up, please. Roll them up, I said. 1, a 6, and a 3. Well, I like a 6 to pick up this potion. I also like 6s to go through the water, but I don't think that matters. I can just mark any old numbers, right? So let's spend the white 6 here, grabbing this potion. This is my big potion. No, it's not. Still have that one waiting. And I'll flip the 1 with finesse into a 6. Start heading towards this key. Or if I put the 3 here. I think I want to head towards the key. Yeah. So I'll place a 3 here, decreasing this 6 to a 5. And then I'll place the 5 here, first decreasing it to a 4 because of underwater. Bunch of 6s, huh? Is that good? Maybe. I don't know. I think I'll do my little timing trick of... No, there's not really any reason to. I'll flip this 3 to a 4 right now. And then I'll place it here, first decreasing it back to a 3. Get out of my face. Stupid text boxes. There. Good enough. And now I have 2 6s, which I will place here. Again, not triggering underwater. Pretty low numbers. Let's see. I can't actually afford, I don't think. I can't really make a 6 right now. I mean, I can, but I would have to decrease it to a 5 to avoid taking damage. So... Oh, I forgot. I could have skipped over tiles like this one. I could have skipped to here. Because I have my Raven Star. So that's sort of interesting. Because I'm going to have to place 2 dice that aren't 6s, which means I'll have to reduce a good die by 2. I could reduce this 2 to a 1 and then turn it into a 6, but I'd still have to reduce it once. So I can't use a 6 to pick up this key just yet. Which is fine. I'm not dying for keys exactly. I already have all the keys I'll ever need, right? This one and this one. And there are only 2 locks left in the universe, so I guess I just don't care. So in that case, it doesn't really matter where I put any of this. Just make this a 6. Put a 1 here, decreasing this to a 1. Then a 1 here, decreasing this to a 5. And then a 5 here. A 4 here, because I have to decrease it again. Yeah, so I decreased this die once and this die twice, getting 1, 1, 4. That seems legit. Still no... Oh, hang on. I need to be careful. I've almost created a different path to the treasure. Maybe, is it not going to be possible to complete this whole every column? I guess that's probably true. Well, I'll put the 114 on the left column instead of the right then, just in case that helps. I don't think it really will matter. Yeah, if I complete this column or this column, the dungeon will end. So I can actually use this column as kind of scratch space, where, like, I'm never going to finish this column, so I'll just fill in all the blanks around here, and then if somehow I miss getting something I want here, I can just mark junk in this column. Okay. This seems sort of similar. Make this a 6. Mark 2 2s here and a 3, decreasing this 3 times. Yep, still seems legit. I have no path to the exit yet, but I'm about to. So I just need a 2, 3. So I need to fill anything in here. And then I need a 2, 3, or 4. So let's put a 4 here. Oops. Shrinking this to a 2. Then finesse it into a 5 and try to put it here, decreasing it to a 4 in the process. I'm done. I have my path. 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. And we score 1, 2, 3 plus 2 plus 2. Yeah, there. So that's 9 again. Seems legit. Let's write that in as I've been doing. From 17 we get to 26. I guess mark both of these off, but not this one. Circle these coins so I remember them. Grab this extra good die before I forget. And with 26, I can afford the freeze darts. And I can't afford the shadow cloak, which I do want eventually. So let's take the freeze darts now. I still think the freeze darts are insanely busted here. They're just so flexible for moving. Okay, and we're gonna head into Breeze Baubles. Now, these are new monsters. We've never seen these guys before, right? We haven't fought them anyway. They're cultists. They only have 1 die, and they don't increment the evil dice, so I can spend coins to prevent potentially a lot of damage. I currently possess how many coins? 2? 4. Okay. Not as many as I would like, but there's a bunch lying around here. Now, it is kind of interesting that, you know, the freeze darts kind of counterfeit Ravenstar in that there's never a reason to use Ravenstar anymore. Freeze darts is strictly better. So it would be nice if I hadn't had to unlock Ravenstar. But I think it was obviously very valuable to have Ravenstar in the 2nd and 3rd dungeons. Although I don't think I used it in this one now that I look at it. So it was really just here. But it was, or here rather. But it was very valuable here. And also, it was my only legal unlock at my first level up, so I kind of had to take it. Anyway, 3 good dice, 1 evil die, heading into the baubles. Collect as many baubles as you can. A 1. You love to see it. How do I attack cultists, by the way? You need at least a 3, and you need 2 of them. Okay. So, this is another dungeon where you can't possibly complete every column, isn't it? No, it is not. You have a choke point here. So as long as you never mark this square, you won't complete the dungeon. And you can mark everything else. And then you can mark this, and you'll have every square done. Okay, cool. Well, and we have 3 potential paths to the exit, right? Ah, it's not quite true that if you never mark the square, you won't finish it. If you choose to use a key on the door, then you'll have 2 routes to the exit and actually can't finish the dungeon. So this key, this lock is a trap of sorts. There might be circumstances in which you would want to use it, but there is a detrimental effect. Oh, it's too bad the 1 is an evil die. I was thinking of flipping it to make it a 6. Although, the freeze darts. So is it only good ones or any one? If you have a 1 in the pool, you can put it anywhere you want. So actually, maybe that's sweet. What's the most important goodies for me to get this dungeon? It's not the healing potions, because when I level up, that'll be my last healing potion. So I can completely ignore that. I think it's like the 2 coins. But I guess another question is, where is it hardest to get to? And obviously, the answer is fighting these guys. So I could put my 1 here, right? And then, like, 6/6, for example. And like a 3 here. But actually, I think just being here is good enough, because, oh no, you can't path around uncollected treasure. I was thinking I could go bong bong, but that's an illegal route until I've picked up the coin. No, actually you can path through the chest, so that's allowed, right? So you can't path through things, but if the space is empty because you've collected it, you can go through it in a situation like this. And treasure chest spaces are counted as empty, as mentioned here? Well, you may count range through the treasure chest, yeah. So if I had a die here, I could start counting this way, which gets me close enough to the backside of these monsters that I think it's useful. And still leaves me in position to bop some of these guys this turn. So I think that's kind of a cool way to do it. 1. And I think I'll put both 6s up here. And the 3 I want to use to finish off one of these guys. I think this one, because it leaves me the most flexibility at connecting the 3 to the 1. And I can count that range, right? So, to be clear, the 6 I was counting range like this from the door. The 1 I got with the freeze darts, and now this 3 I'm counting ranged from the 1. And that does damage these guys, right? I haven't forgotten. Yes. So you are defeated. Nice. Good turn. A 4. I'm very happy to use a coin to stop 3 damage, because they only attack on 4+. I have a coin lying around here. Actually, let's use the one on my mat, because I'm more likely to forget about those later. I'll make this a 3. Which I'm happy to put here, by the way. Yeah. Seems like an easy turn. It's too high. Go lower. 3. Dead. And then I'll put the 2 here. I think that's fine. Here, I mean, rather. Because I'll count like womp bomb. 2 diagonal spaces, according to the freeze darts, diagonal range counting ability of size 2, and being allowed to path through the chest as though it were empty. Yeah, 2 here seems fine. Although, I mean, since I'm putting 2 5s here, I guess I may as well make this one a 5 as well, in case it needs to be part of the contiguous path. I don't think that's true, actually. Obviously, sorry. I could make the 5 by spending finesse on the 2, is my thinking. I've spent the 3. I've spent the 5s. I'm figuring out what to do with this 2. I think actually I'm wrong. I don't want this to be a 5. It's not likely this will be part of the contiguous path. It is somewhat likely that I'll want to put a 2 here to collect these coins. So I'll put a 2 here so that 2 becomes a valid number that helps me escape and collect coins. Yeah, that seems fine. We like to see 2s from the enemies. And 3s and 4s finish this off, right? Oh! Putting a 1 here was a problem, wasn't it? Because if I want to finish this monster off, I have to write a number that's at least 3 here. Which would mean this can't be part of the path. I see. Well, I do want to finish the monster off. So I guess I'll just have my path go through here. Fortunately, I preserved that possibility. And I won't get to score every column. But I need to start being careful of how I path, because this is now my only way to score points. So this is a very long critical path that needs specific numbers in it. These 6s are quite constraining. So let's see. I'll spend the 3 and the 4 here. Finishing off these guys. Now I'm not taking damage anymore. I could use this 2 to go here and get the coins, which is a little tempting. But that does create a slight constraint in that these 6s will now have to step down all the way to a 2 before they get here. It's not that hard to do. So I think I'm okay with it. 5, 4, 3, 2. So if I want to pick up this poison potion, I need a 3 here, I suppose. It's not the end of the world. Makes it impossible to pick up the coin, actually, doesn't it? Interesting. So I guess probably this is the column I won't finish, the leftmost one. So I can use that as my dumping ground. How much experience am I getting from this little adventure? The cultists, I assume, are worth 1? Yeah. So 4 plus hopefully 5 is 9. I mean, I'm at 26. I only need 4 to get the Shadow Cloak. So no problem with that. Okay. I do want as much as I can so I can score more points at the end of the game. Like, I'll have leftover experience. But none of it is important for actually winning. Okay, I think I'm all right with committing a 2 here. Especially as it comes with coins, so that if I have put myself into a little disaster, I can spend the coins to get out of it. And this 2 I'm going to make a 5. Put here. So technically I could collect either the coin or the poison potion. Actually, I could get both. No. 5, 4, 3. That would escape, but it. Well, this could be anything, right? But if I want a coin, I need this to be a 5, and then this can't be a 1 or a 3, so I can only get one of them. I'd rather have. Actually, I'm not sure. We're fighting merfolk. I mean, being able to mark 4s seems kind of nice. 1 extra 4 versus a coin. Like, but mitigating is nice. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I can take at most one of those 2. I don't think it's a huge decision which one I take. That's a 4, which would mean they attack, but they're all dead, so I don't have to worry about it. I could put the 6 here, but if I did, I couldn't get either the coin or the potion. And I don't need to, because I have more keys than I need, right? There's 1 here. Well, I have as many keys as I need. There's a key here. I didn't pick up this one, but it's fine. And a key here, and only 2 locked doors left in the universe. So I can put any old thing here, and a 4 is perfect. Then I want, like, well, I want a 3 here, right? Let's flip this with finesse. Grab the poison potion. And I have a 1 and a 6, which is not especially helpful. But a 6 here. Well, it would be helpful in that it connects this path. It makes sure that I get this path connected eventually. But it does mean that if I fill in both of these, the dungeon immediately ends, and I don't necessarily get all the coins yet. I think that's fine. I'm going to put the 6 here. If I miss a coin or 2, like, whatever. And I don't think I especially am at risk of doing so. The 1 I can put literally anywhere. Here? Here? Here. Well, maybe it would be better to preserve the option of any doubles getting me this. I think that makes sense. Let's put that one in. Yeah, get in there. Six. I mean, the 2 3s are nice to put here, perhaps. Although, I guess what I want is to use them as doubles here. Yeah. So a 3 and a 3. Yeah, this looks good. 3, 3 getting coins, a 1 here, which I can reach from here. Also, it's a missile. I can just shoot it. Wait, I don't have a 1. I'm flipping this to a 1, but I didn't say so. Okay. So getting these 2 coins and this 1 coin. Leaving me with a 4 that I can't flip, but that's fine because I love 4s. It goes there. I'm not getting that coin, but that's life. And I still don't have a completed path to the exit. As soon as I fill in this space, I will. Or, like, all 3 of these spaces, which I plan to avoid. And I've picked up everything I care about picking up, so I just need a 2 or a 3 here to successfully leave dungeon with all my goals accomplished. It's a 2. Great. I could pick up the health potion, but it would actually cost me coins. I can't get it for free, and I don't need it because I'm getting my last 2 health potions here. So I'll just take the 2 and write it in. Did I remember to cross out one of my keys, by the way? I didn't. Okay, very funny. Let's cross out this one. I knew I had more keys than I would ever need, but I should spend it. Okay, so let's write in that path again in red. Oh, I want the freeform pen. Very narrow-minded. Not narrow-minded, straightforward, but there's a word for that that has narrow. Single-minded. Very single-minded approach. Just go straight. Me smash. All right, scoring it up. So I didn't quite accomplish everything. If I hadn't made that little mistake with the 1 here, I could have gotten 1 more experience by scoring every column. But it's fine. So we got all of these columns. And each of these guys gives 2 more. That's 9 again. Getting a lot of 9s. These cultists are only worth 1. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's easy enough. It's filling up these next 2 rows. Getting me to 40. And I am just drowning in HP. My goodness. This has been a solid run. I'm glad I tackled the dungeons in the order I did. It seemed rather counterintuitive, but if I had to slog through like either of these places without any power-ups, it would have been miserable. And I just needed 1 power-up, like for 6 XP to make this place palatable. Okay, cool. So this seems like it's going to be an easy win, but we do have to play it out. Let's grab the bad dice, evil dice, excuse me. There are going to be 3 here because it's the boss. I think the boss always has 3. And we get to pick a single relic of choice. I mean, I was going to choose the Shadow Cloak, and I think I still will. But I do have a lot of HP, and so in principle, maybe I don't need HP mitigation. Or damage mitigation. But ignoring all damage also means I can ignore this guy's special ability. He only attacks on 6s. The problem is there are 2 merfolk. They're going to be adding 6 to all dice. Well, sorry. A total of 6 spread among the evil dice. So for good dice to outscore evil dice, I'll need quite a lucky roll until the merfolk start dying off, and then I can just finesse it a little bit, right? So I think I should have a turn or 2 in which this is useful. Am I going to gain a lot of coins? I would think not. I mean, yeah, there's a few, but... yeah, I'll stick with my plan and take the Shadow Cloak. It seems good. And we're off to the... I should be reading the names. I have been reading the names of the dungeons, right? I think I might have not mentioned the Coral Outpost, but yeah, I did. Shipwright, Breeze Baubles, the Inverted Tower. We're now heading to the Submerged Palace Abyss. The Kingdom of... the Undersea Kingdom Abyss. Okay, so this guy's the king. And we're invading for no good reason. Imperialist, I guess. Alright. So there are 2 merfolk still alive. So each evil die goes up by 2. And we dodged the boss attack, which is nice. And actually, I mean, if I finesse right now, the 2... well, first of all, the Wandering Monster does get me. Nothing I can do about that. But if I finesse this 2 into a 5, I'll have 5-3-5 against 5-2-5. And I'll get to ignore all damage. So this ignores 2 damage, which seems good. Probably the best I'm going to do, right? So I'm in. I'll spend my finesse. I mean, maybe there's some reason I want this 5 later, but I think it'll be okay. That I want to flip some other die. So that's 1 charge of the Shadow Cloak, just saving me 2 HP. And we get a turn, which I don't think these guys are going to appreciate. Oh, you know what would be nice? If I step in enough underwater traps to decrease this 3 into a 1, I can shoot it straight at a boss or near a merfolk. Right? Now, it's important to note that you can't count range through traps. Through untriggered traps. Unmarked traps, I guess is the word. So I can't just mark this space and this one because I don't have adjacency from here to here. There's no path. This is the monster's in the way and this is in the way, so I can't take the diagonal and I can't go through a trap. So it does take 3 numbers to kill this guy. But I think I'm still fine. I'm going to spend a 5 here, a 2 here. I know I have to decrease some good dice. I'll get that in a sec. And then the other 5. So I'm spending basically all the evil dice on this, which means I have to decrease good dice 3 times. I'll decrease this twice to 1 and this once to 4. You are dead. Oh, I meant to make this twice to 1, not once to 2. Now I can use my freeze darts to launch this at this guy. Marking a 1 here? Whatever I'm... Well... Here, I think, actually, right? Because I don't want the 1 to get in the way of a potential connected path of this 5. And I can still target from here to here by counting range this way. And I can put the other 2 5s like this. Or the 5 and the 4, whatever. So a 4 here, damaging him, and then count the range like this, or diagonally, either way, to here, defeating him. Yeah, this seems like a very strong, like, a strong start, to be sure, but one that you would expect to get. Like, Flynn seems very well set up for this dungeon. I remember at the beginning I was saying this dungeon seemed quite complicated and I was going to have some problems with it. But Flynn's abilities are just stupendous. The lucky pick and the freeze darts make you very mobile, and finesse means you can mostly ignore underwater or even use it to your advantage. Okay, I don't currently have any 1s, so I can't sneak in here, but it would be easy to do so if I wanted. There are no merfolk, and this guy doesn't attack on 5s, so I don't take any damage. Yeah, this guy basically can never attack me, I think. Let me reread freeze darts. I can shoot these into a trap, right? Any open space. What is an open space? Is a trap an open space? Let's look at counting range, weapons or something. Unclear. Does the PDF... I'm going to control F the PDF real quick. Did this ever mention the word open? Missile says open, and that's it. So, who knows? Open space is whatever you think it should be. I think I should be able to shoot a 1 in here. I don't think it's necessarily the most important thing to do, but getting this guy killed as quickly as possible would certainly be nice, wouldn't it? What do I need to hit him? A 5. Well, I have a 5 here. I can make one of these a 1 and probably make the other one another one a 5 without too much work. If I just tromp around in the water a bit. So... let's spend a 2 and a 3 on these 2 spaces. In order to do that, I have to reduce a good die by 1 twice. I choose this one twice. And I fire it as a dart. Here. This guy doesn't have to be part of any connected path. Although he could be. If you had trouble, you could trace a path through here. Like, let's say this were a 5 and this were a 2 or something. And so you couldn't trace the path this way. I believe you could... I think the rules for this should basically be the same as stairs. You could have like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then back out the tunnel. But I don't need to. Anyway, it seems nice to have the 1 be out of the way at least. So to do that, I must decrease a good die by 1 again. I choose this. I wish to mark a 5 now. Here, let's say. To do that, I must decrease a good die by 1. I choose this. Now I wish to flip a good die with finesse. And bonk him on the head with it. Let me just confirm 5s do damage him. We've checked that 8 times. Yep, okay. Cool. So I don't trigger underwater because this was a 6. And the 4... I could spend here, but... remember that this is a useful choke point. If I never mark this square, and I also never mark this square, then I will never have a consecutive path to the exit. So preserving this space means that I can explore the whole dungeon. So instead, I will put my 4 here, decreasing it by 1 to 3 before placing it. Actually, I don't know. I think it's actually wrong to do that. Underwater is actually a benefit to me. I'm like a merfolk. I'm going to put the 4 there. Because being able to lower a die until it becomes a 1 and then turn it into a 6 or use it as a dart, like those are both very useful to me. Although I don't think I need darts anymore. I think I can reach pretty much anywhere now. Yeah. I could reach anywhere in the dungeon, except maybe in here. But I don't want to mark 1s in here. Anyway. Yeah, so being able to use underwater tactically to convert good dice into 6s to beat this guy up seems like a pretty cool deal for me. So I should not proactively spend dice there just because I can disarm a trap by doing so. No doubles. We do have a 6. Well, I mean, this isn't getting any better. Oh, actually, this ignores damage, including wandering monster damage. All right, I'll just spend a coin instead then, because I have so many of those and only 1 charge of this. So I should use this on underwater, on wandering monster damage instead. So that's a 5. You're not allowed to hit me. I'll put a 3 here. And a 2. Actually, is that where I want the 3? I guess I do. I kind of want it in this trap, I think. Because I want to trigger underwater a lot this turn, I think. So I'll decrease this to a 4. And that was marking the 3. I'll spend a 2 on this, shrinking this die again to a 3. I'll spend a 5, shrinking this again to a 2. then I guess I didn't need to trigger that much underwater. It's fine. Spend a 5 here. Shrinking this again to a 1. Finesse it back to a 6. I guess. Put the 6 here. Defeating you. And then I have another 6 to do whatever with. I don't see any especially desirable places to put 6s. I guess next to the 2 coins? Because I'm good at making 6s and I want to pick up coins because it's fun. I mean, this game is over. I do have a Wandering Monster trigger. Well, that's the only way I can take damage remaining. And good dice total 10. Evil dice total only 9, so I am allowed to do this. I mean, it's not quite true. I could ignore damage by trudging through triggering all the underwater traps, but I don't have any need to do that, right? Yeah, I mean, I could shortcut this by just saying I mark all the spaces and I win. I think I have enough resources that will never be a problem. But it would be nice to turn in an honest sheet, wouldn't it? And I don't know how much damage I'll take, so there is that. Do you score these? You don't, actually, so no points for scoring these. So I don't need to pick up the coins. Let's just start marking stuff. I have a 6. Let's put it here. Very big circle. I think spending these 2 2s to connect up to this 3 is kind of nice. This a 6 with finesse, and then 5 3 go in here, making this a 4, and then I decrease itself to make it a 3. Well, no, I'll leave it as a 4. So I'll write in the 5 and the 3 here, and use this 4 here. Wandering Monster gets me again. Oh, you idiot! I wrote this in. I was supposed to leave that blank. I'm not going to max out my score now. I could cheat and like go back and say, actually, I should have put this 2 like here or something, but I do have new information. Oh well. It's fine. Let's try to have a win with no cheating, shall we? Like, it's hard to imagine how this could, nothing matters. I just need to not fill this in yet. Or all of these. And make sure to resolve underwater correctly, I guess. Let's make this a 6, just so I have a die to decrease as much as I feel like, I guess. Write a 5 here, making this also a 5. Write in 2 5s to collect this poison potion, which I don't need. That triggers underwater, so this becomes a 2. I'll put the 5 and the 3 down here. That's a 4. There we go. And then this 2 will become a 1 as I mark it underwater here. No wandering monsters this time. Let's put a 6 underwater. A 4 and a 3 over here. I have a 1, a 2, and a 4. Write them in here, I guess. Oops. 1, 2, 4. Get back here, you sneaky little dice. You rascals. That 6 is some wandering monster damage. And now any tile I fill in, except these, which I don't need to fill in, will complete the dungeon. And I don't want to complete it this way. Actually, a 3 here would do it. It would actually, I didn't on purpose make this a valid safe path. But I don't want to do that because then I would have fewer columns finished. So I'll fill this one in with a 4 and call it a day. So missed 1 experience by careless placing of dice in this last actually, you know what? I'll place these 6s to get some more coins before I go. There. Circles are getting bigger and bigger. Cool. So that is it. We're out of here. We can count a red path. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, and out. Back to black for the scoring. This circle's so big I can't see the dot, so I'll put it here. And then this has, what, 2 more for another merfolk? Yeah. 1, 1, 1, 1. Didn't get this one. 1, 3. And this is 5? Okay. 4, 5. This is a smudge. Let's actually fix that smudge so that it's clear it's just 1 point. 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 17. Well, my highest score so far, which I guess is, what, 57? No. 10, 20, 35, and 17 is only 52? Yeah, I guess so. It seems like it would be higher. What was my score with Safin exactly? I think it was like 54, wasn't it? This game felt like a romp. What was my score? I posted it in the Dungeon Pages Discord. Yeah, it was 54. This felt like the easiest game in the world. I could not possibly have lost. I dropped 1 or 2 experience on the floor in several of the dungeons, I guess. This one, I don't think you can get all of it. Especially not if you tackle it first. But I think even in any order you couldn't. Well, you could, because this tile is a choke point. So if you could, like, dart your way to here, fill in these before this. So in principle, you could get 10 here, I guess. Here I got all 8. Here I missed 1, and I could have fixed it. Here, I also believe I could have fixed this if I had... Well, no, right? There's no single choke point, because there are too many routes to the treasure from here. You could go this way, or this way, or this way. So I think 9 is the most you can do there. So I missed a point here, a point here, and a point here. So in principle, a score of 55 is possible with Flynn on this map, I think. Alright, well, for what it's worth, I saved a bunch of spare HP that I didn't need at all. I hope you guys enjoyed another little Dungeon Pages adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.